Thank you. So good morning, everybody. Good morning from Boston, United States, and salam alaikum to everybody. So today I will take you a little bit in a journey to the future. The future is tomorrow. It is not far away from us. And let us just take a step back and talk about the concept of smart city. We know that it is not new. It is a couple of decades in the making. And we have different approaches of realizing smart city, smart living, smart government, smart workplace, and so on. We have different approaches. We have a city where I am, Boston, New York, Barcelona, Berlin. All of them are all cities. They are using the state-of-the-art technologies to retrofit the city and offer smart services to citizens, to managers of the cities, and all the workers of the city. Other approach, we have Muscat, we have Dubai, for example, relatively new cities. They were lucky when they started. We had a lot of technologies, and they are ahead of most of the cities worldwide. But also we have the third approach we have now. We have the new administrative capital of Egypt, just out Cairo, my home country, by the way. They are using the state-of-the-art technology to build a new city from scratch. Lucky them also. But also we have on the other side of the Red Sea, we have Neom, the cognitive city, being built not like the administrative capital of Egypt. They are using what we have today, but they are going to invent or co-invent new technologies, because the vision even is larger than all the cities or smart cities we have today. So as technologists, my role is to ask the question, what is our future requirement or requirements, and what would be the technologies and the architecture paradigms which we have to invent and use to implement our vision in the future in the most effective way, effective from all the aspects, financial, quality of living, technology stability, scalability, and so on. So I hope you agree all with me that building a luxury city does not mean we achieved the smart living. It is a big difference. But maybe smart living would be considered by each human a luxury life. So let us start there. But the problem is, or the dilemma is, and I hear it from different clients, different colleagues across the globe, do we have the right technologies and enough technologies to achieve our dreams of smart living? Simply, it is yes or no, because innovation is iterations. It is not just one iteration and we are done. Our goal is being defined as we go. The technologies and the technology innovation coming from all the directions, and we jump on any new relevant innovation ideas, and we ask ourselves, can we use it to accelerate what we are doing? Every one of us is doing this in his and her life every day. And simply, I will give you one example. I hope you, like me, followed SpaceX launch into the space last weekend. And you see the launch was for civilians, not astronauts, not pilots, just civilians like you and me. They flew around the Earth 570 kilometers over the Earth, 3 days long, no experience at all in the space technology. Why? If you unpack the SpaceX rocket and the capsule, I am sure, and I assure you as technologists, we have all the technology within this rocket and this capsule. We have all the technologies which we can use to achieve every definition of a smart city today. We have it. It is your architecture paradigm, your technology mix, and how are you going to implement it in a real world? This what decide success, like SpaceX missions, which are always error-free, zero error mission from launch to water landing back after 1 or week or 1 day. So the answer is yes or no. We are building what we need as we speak to everyone who is responsible for implementing smart city or expanding smart city capabilities. We have enough technologies. It is just how to use it and how to mix it. So the problem I see today across all smart cities from New York, Boston, Dubai, Barcelona, Berlin, you name it, is that we are using the mentality of traditional IT systems to implement a cognitive city. Smart is kind of cognitive city like NEOM, they call it cognitive. You cannot use the traditional IT paradigm as I'm sure you see it in your city. You have different or scattered systems. Each system is taking care of one piece of the city: water, sewage, electricity, energy, transportation, security, you name it, healthcare, you name it. But all of those systems are expensive. They don't talk to each other. And if you want those systems to talk with each other, you will have to build different expensive, thick layer of technologies to do this data integration, functional integration, and user dashboards integration. What we have now, we have different dashboards, we have different large teams taking care of each system. This is not the way we can go in building smart cities and smart living. We cannot go like that. And we see if you are responsible about the financial of those projects, they are very expensive because the technology paradigm, the architecture paradigm is wrong and will land in kind of in a very expensive, not sustainable smart cities. So what would be the solution? The solution is to move from the traditional IT technology and IT architecture paradigm to what's called cognitive systems architecture, cognitive system paradigms. So in Twitter, let us unpack this, what I'm talking about a little bit. In 2016, with collaboration with my friends here, 15 minutes from where I am, my colleagues at MIT, where I introduced the concept of cognitive digital twin. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, heard about everywhere digital twin. Actually, so in 2016, I said, no digital twin, it should be a cognitive digital twin. Imagine it simply a digital twin, as you understand, with a brain. Because without a brain, there is no intelligence. Without intelligence, there is no smart city. And the basic capabilities of any cognitive system is the system should be able to sense, to intelligently collect the data it is needed for the decisions and actions made by human or by the system itself from the right source in the right time. But also it should have the what I call cognitive core, the brain like us as a human. We artificial intelligence, as we know, and I am working in this area since late 80s, where I did my PhD in this area. Artificial intelligence is here to stay. We are delivering a lot of successful projects. We are adding a lot of values, even simple technology like natural language processing from Siri, from Alexa and others. It is working and we are adding a lot of values. It depends on it. Excuse me, Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I'm sorry, guys. So, so what I wanted to say is cognitive core is very important to a smart city, to successful, sustainable smart city implementation. But also within a smart city, we have a lot of actions and we cannot leave every action and every decision to humans. How can we design a system which can reliably and timely take actions, take decisions, or at least recommend decisions for us to take as a human to take immediately and reliably? But also the system should be able to continuously learn as within the context of smart city, our requirements as citizens or residents of the city changes. The user, whether I am manager, worker, or resident, and even resident, our requirements are factored in time, circumstances, places, and so on. So even our individual requirements and expectations from the city are changing by minute. So what I mean, IT or traditional IT systems are not the right technology platform for a smart city. It is not going to work. It is expensive, not sustainable, and will land on scattered, inefficient technology implementations, which will have to be thrown away sooner or later. So as I mentioned, in 2016, I introduced the concept of cognitive digital twin. Myself, my teams across the globe, we used it in different contexts, not only smart cities, but also supply chain, R&D, manufacturing, smart connected products, and so on. Let us just quickly, in the time I have left, to give you a little bit background about what I'm talking about. What is cognitive digital twin? You will see that everyone is talking about it is a digital representation. No, as I am a hands-on technologist, I have to be pragmatic and get things done. I call it is functions-driven digital representation of a physical twin. We as a human, every creature in the nature have been created to fulfill a set of functionalities. Our body, our brain, and all the internal systems are working together to fulfill a set of functionalities. This is the first architecture principle. What are the functionalities we need today from a smart city cognitive digital twin? And we go and build those functionalities or capabilities, and it will grow. As I mentioned, it will grow over time. The capabilities, the cognitive capabilities, the functional capabilities will grow because it is a cognitive system. It is learning as it is doing the job it is designed to do. So we have a cognitive digital twin, but also cognitive digital twin, like any cognitive system, depends on data. And just to this slide, quickly, for your smart city initiative, we have identified 4 major categories of cognitive digital twin. One for machine for complex systems, could be energy systems, water systems, healthcare, medical equipments. For humans, because of the time, I will go quickly over that. But also for small objects, you need to downgrade your digital twin to fulfill, like security camera, like even simple system in a smart building. You don't have to have a full-blown cognitive digital twin system to cover that, but also for the enterprise, because all of this, the humans and the objects we have, there are processes governing everything between those two entities within the ecosystem. You have to build a cognitive digital twin representing the processes around the humans and the physical systems. And as I mentioned, cognitive digital twins live like any cognitive system from the data. There is another concept you will hear very often over the next years, the cognitive digital thread. Imagine like our nervous system, you have a network of sensors or data sources deploying what we call intelligent sensing. I don't want a network of sensors to bring me all the dirty data around the cities, the building, overground and underground, but also I need intelligent sensors. Give me the data which I need on time in the right format and the right quality. I don't need more. I don't more or less. I don't need less. So this is simply a digital thread. Imagine it is a network around the city and gathering all the data from the city in real time, or of course sometimes in semi-real time. This is architecture principle. But also here, as I mentioned earlier, a city has, say, 1 million person, 2 million physical systems, and. You cannot create digital twins for each entity and leave them alone. In 2016, I introduced the concept of digital swarm. And digital swarm, simply imagine like ants, like any animals. We work together. The concept of digital swarm comes from artificial intelligence, where you have a team of low intelligence subjects or objects coming together, and we call it the swarm intelligence. They can do more like what we say in our work, simply teamwork. This is the concept of swarm. In any number of digital twins will come together in different relationships. I have in my publications talked in details about that, and simply adding more values, and instead of having a big giant intelligent digital twin doing everything, which is impossible to implement in the reality now, and I think in 100 years. So we have the digital twin, the cognitive digital thread, the cognitive digital swarm, and lastly, Ahmed, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 minutes left. Abbas, 1, yes. So this is just, I wanted to highlight you the major concept here. I would like to highlight what I call smart city operating system. Now we are retrofitting and offering government or city smart service. If we want to achieve the dream of smart city, smart living, smart efficient workplaces, and all in between, we need to work on smart city operating system. And I think about maybe 10 years ago, I was part of the smart city operating system initiative of Singapore, and it was a brilliant idea. And I took it and I tried to expand it and answer the question, okay, what are the technologies we need to have a smart city operating system, which is simply, if you go to the third layer, I call it smart living or a smart city, cognitive digital twin infrastructure. We have infrastructure, which will be the cognitive digital twin infrastructure, which will enable, I think Siham and Lobna talked about that earlier, public collaboration with private collaboration and personal collaboration, that we collectively create a swarm, intelligent swarm, which will enable smart city, smart living, smart efficient work. With that, because of the time, I will give it to you back to Abbas, and thank you very much for listening.